Smell that? It's in the air. That's right. It's Nintendo Direct season.
Duck season, fire!
I know this because every YouTuber and outlet has said that there's gonna be a Direct this week every week since April. Now, I'm not usually one to get out here and comment about unsubstantiated Nintendo Direct claims because, yeah, like I said, I mean, they're everywhere, always, all the time. It seems like they're more plentiful now than ever. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but in general, generally speaking, I don't put much stock into them. However, there is one guy out there who I tend to listen to when he speaks about a Nintendo Direct on the horizon. Nate the Hate. This fella has a pretty good track record. Yeah, to be completely open and honest and transparent here for a second, I don't really know what this man does. I think he has a podcast? This might seem uncharitable, but to me, he's the Nintendo Direct man. That's all I need to know. He's the Nintendo Direct man, and when he comes to town, I know that a Nintendo Direct is near. It's kind of like the milkman, except when the Nintendo Direct man shows up to my door, my wife doesn't get pregnant. It doesn't mean I let my guard down, though. I got my eyes on you, buddy. Yeah, like I said, I feel like these rumors have been swirling for a while now. When this guy talks, I sleep. When this guy talks, I get a funny little chuckle. Ha ha. That wasn't a chuckle. When this guy talks, you know, it's real shit. Like I said, the man has a good track record, so I'm at attention. And let's be real, I mean, calling this Nintendo Direct season, I mean, kind of half a joke, but also, generally speaking, the September month is when we can expect Nintendo Directs, typically. I don't think Nintendo has missed one in a couple of years. Now, there are all sorts of claims going around about what kind of Direct it's going to be. People are talking about the Mario 40th anniversary, and, you know, the possibility of a general Direct or a more game-specific Direct. And I mean, I guess it's possible that we could get all of those. It seems like Nintendo's been on a roll with doing all kinds of Directs, all kinds of different presentations. But honestly, I really think it's time to just get out there and do another general Direct. I'm ready to have this conversation. Here comes the hard stuff. I feel like the kind of general excitement around the Switch 2 kind of fell off a cliff after Donkey Kong Bonanza came out. It seemed like there was a lot of buzz going on leading up to the release of that game, and now kind of post-Bonanza, everything is dead. Kirby Air Ride, as exciting as it is to someone like me, it's unfortunately got more of like a niche appeal. It's a very niche game. It's a sequel to a 20-year-old GameCube game that sold like shit at the time. It will undoubtedly attract a much bigger crowd this time around, probably, but it's not a huge shock to see that it's not creating the most buzz in the world. I still can't wait to play it though. But yeah, you know, to me, thinking back to 2017, the launch year of the Nintendo Switch, it seemed like there was always another game right around the corner each month from March through the end of the year to get excited about. They weren't always brand new games or even, you know, always that substantial, but I feel like the pacing of their releases, it was more of an even spread than what we're getting right now with the Switch 2. I mean, it was Mario Kart in June, Donkey Kong midway through July, and then a bunch of shit no one really cares about. I don't think the Mario Jamboree and the Kirby Star World are making that big of a splash. There are gonna be fans of those things, absolutely. And okay, you know, to say that nobody cares about them is pretty narrow-minded, to be fair. But what I mean is that DLC for Switch 1 games is gonna hit a lot different than brand new Nintendo Switch 2 games, you know what I mean? Unless you're Wheelchair Basketball, that's one that actually no one cared about. But all of this is to say that we're past due for some big announcements, I feel. We need some games, we need some announcements and things for people to look forward to. They're gonna create some buzz. The truth of the matter is that Kirby Air Riders, Metroid Prime 4, even Pokemon to an extent, like Pokemon to the extent that it's cross-platform. So I would imagine a lot of people aren't necessarily going to feel like they have to rush out and pick up a Switch 2 to play the latest Pokemon game, you know what I mean? And you know, September just is generally their time frame where they start to announce some of the games that we can look forward to coming up in the next year. I don't know, I guess I'm about ready to make a counter argument to that. Nintendo does hold games and announcements closer to their chest nowadays than they ever used to. A lot of the time they don't announce things, or at least major releases, until they're just a couple of months out. I feel like they learned a substantial lesson from announcing Metroid Prime 4 when they did. It was cool to give Metroid fans some hope, to know that Metroid wasn't going to be totally dead, head, and now you have people on Twitter chewing the flesh off their arms. So aside from Nate the Hate, I mean, is there anything pointing to a potential Nintendo Direct reveal? Yes, that's what I have to say. So according to Nate the Hate, the current dates that he's speculating about, I assume it's speculation. He's saying it's gonna be somewhere in the second week of September, on or around September 11th or 12th. People have been quick to point out that it would be kind of odd for Nintendo to do it on a Friday, because Nintendo doesn't do Directs on Fridays, but people have also pointed out that September 11th is pretty significant for other reasons. It's my kitty cat, Mr. Stripe's birthday, and I don't know, Nintendo, I don't know if I'd forgive you if you get in the way of my celebrations, okay? That's my son. But at the same time, I could totally see it falling on that day. Like I said, yeah, Fridays is generally not when Nintendo does things. A Thursday Direct, yeah, it makes sense, and there's, I don't know, a little nugget of information to go along with this. There's actually kind of pieces together with some other things that I've talked about on this channel in the past month. Let's just go ahead and throw it out there. So according to Best Buy, there is a King K. Rool amiibo restock happening on September 12th. I could totally see there being a Direct on September 11th, and then doing the restock the very next day on the 12th. Now, it's possible it could just be on the same day, you know, announce and restock on the same day. I don't know, but I would just think they would want to give it a little more time. And that kind of falls back into a conversation we've had here lately about King K. Rool and Mario Kart, of all things. DK detectives all over the place were quick to point out that King K. Rool's new voice actor in Donkey Kong Bonanza was also credited in Mario Kart World's credits sequence, but obviously he's not there, with September also being the 40th Mario anniversary time frame, and it also taking place like what, you know, 2 or so months after Donkey Kong Bonanza, 3 months after Mario Kart World. It does feel like, you know, maybe they could start to roll out some DLC for Mario Kart World. It's something that we've speculated for a while, that there might be some substantial Donkey Kong content coming to the game eventually, which would work as a pretty ingenious form of like cross-promotional marketing, you know, add some Donkey Kong stuff to Mario Kart World. It gets people to check out Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's a win-win, it's fun. I don't know if they're necessarily gonna do a Mario 40th anniversary Direct. Maybe they will, maybe they'll save it for that. Maybe they'll have some more substantial stuff to show it, like a Mario 40th Direct or something. I'm not really locking in on anything yet. It just, you know, the timing of this restock is, you know, it's syncing up with this whole thing. All I'm saying is, you know, I hope it's a general Direct. I'm hoping that we can get some fun announcements to look forward to. I'm not really expecting a whole lot at this point. They announced that Splatoon spin-off game a couple of months ago, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if that takes up a pretty big presence at this Direct, at least for the Nintendo side of things. We still don't have a release date for Prime 4, so I feel like that's probably coming up here before long. I think it was rated in certain places, which usually means it's pretty close to completion, if not basically completed. I'm thinking it's probably just a little bit too soon for a new 3D Mario announcement, but hey, you never know, right? I kind of just feel like they want to let Donkey Kong sort of take that piece of the spotlight for this year at least. The 3D platform game spotlight. I don't know, maybe I'll jump on stream at some point this week and we can discuss thoughts and predictions, and you guys can submit your predictions and we'll talk about them. So yeah, Nintendo Direct probably happening real soon. Makes sense. Nintendo has a pretty solid track record of September Directs, and Nate the Hate has a pretty solid track record of Nintendo Direct rumors. I'll just ask you guys now, I mean, is there anything you want to see in this Direct? Do you have any hopes, thoughts, predictions? Drop them in the comments below. I tend to take a sort of wait and see kind of approach these days, you know? It's like, you know, there are things I would like to see, but I kind of just like to go into these things without knowing too much. And then if there's stuff that surprises me, great. If there's not really much that I'm interested in, oh well. There's always games coming out that I'm interested in at pretty much all times, not just from Nintendo. I know we talk about Nintendo a lot on this channel, but I do play a lot of other games. Anyway, I guess that's all for now. Bye.